Hello and welcome to my first job lot unboxing video. This is not a typical job lot unboxing because I didn't buy the box. I had absolutely no idea what's in it. It was actually a box bought for me by my wife as a Christmas present. The backstory to that being that I recently got into watching those kind of job lot unboxing videos on YouTube. Enjoying seeing what people got out of it, even though they were often very cheap, plasticky cameras that may or may not be working. So my wife bought me a selection, which I have obviously no idea what was in it, and so the idea was to get more of an experience present, so give me the joy of unboxing a large job lot of cheap cameras. So here we go. We will see what I got in my big Christmas box. So first up we have a Xilon AP600S APS format camera. Little bit of a note on APS. Obviously it's a dead format to an extent. Nobody makes it anymore, but I have used one or two in the past and I've actually really enjoyed them, and I do like the design that the small APS format allowed manufacturers to produce, the various designs using that format, and my wife was aware of that, so hence this is the first of a few that were in this box, because I do actually have a stock of expired APS film which I have nevertheless managed to get some decent enough results out of, so making these cameras usable to me. And next up is a Helena Telemaster Flash 110 format camera. 110, as you probably know, is not quite dead. Lomography still make films in that format, and like APS, it's another format that I've quite recently found myself enjoying. I very much appreciate the point and click nature of them, and the fact that they give you a kind of different kind of photographic results. It may not be great quality by professional photographer standards, but I quite enjoy getting different feels with the type of films I'm using. And next up is another APS camera, which is a Fujifilm 210 IX Zoom. Again, lovely little design on this camera, lovely little compact point and shoot. Just to add in at this point that the idea behind this job lot is not that I'm going to keep all these cameras and add them to my collection. I will keep those ones which particularly appeal to me, and the rest will probably go back on eBay if they're working. May just be junked if I think they're really unsellable. But yeah, so it's more about the fun of the opening than the actually receiving cameras that I want to add to my collection, but there will be some. And next we have another Helena Telemaster flash camera. This one is actually not in as nice condition as the first one, but this comes with this really funky box, so that will be, I will pair the nicer version of the camera with the box, and that'll be nice to put on display. And next up is a Lomography La Sardina camera, more recent camera obviously, though still a 35mm camera, This is the Copernicus edition, and I do already have the Domino edition and the Mobius edition, so that will definitely be added to the collection. And this one is a Kodak Vectra. Simple little box camera, but a nice design. I do actually already have one of these that my wife also bought me, coincidentally, and it is my one I have is in nicer condition, so this one will be back on eBay. One of the features of buying job lots, of course, which my wife did in order to compile this giant job lot, is that you will always get a mix of cameras, some of which you will inevitably have or have very similar ones to, particularly older box cameras. And speaking of box cameras that come in every job lot, here is one. Actually, this is a slightly different one I haven't seen before. It's a Coronet Portrait, I think is the best I can find out of what it's called. Although it's a very plain, simple design, I actually quite like it. It's in very nice condition, so it will probably be a keeper. And another 110 camera. This is ITT Magic Flash, quite nice in black. And this one is, I think, probably the cheapest and most plasticky camera of the entire lot. It simply says instant load cartridge on it, no branding. It's obviously a 126 format, which just on the 126 format you can, with some effort, use them by reloading 126 cartridges, which I have done. So yeah, the glory of this particular one though is the ridiculous wood effect on the front of it. So. Of course, whether or not all these are working is a question for later when I have more time to actually examine them. And another APS camera. This is a Minolta something or other. I couldn't actually make out the name. It had been rubbed off the front through usage. And next up we have a Kodak Brownie Reflex camera. This is a quite nice, lovely little design, Art Decoish design to it. Takes 127 film, and I do like a 127 film camera for some reason. And this one came in its case, and it's a Kodak Retinet 1B. My very first film camera that when I started collecting was a Retinet F. This is another in the series. Another APS camera. This is a Minolta Vectis 300. This is a really nice one. All metal body, very, very nice. Exactly what I like about some of the APS camera designs. another 110 camera. This is an AA Autolite Telewide. AA appears to be the Automobile Association, as it's known in the UK, the equivalent of AAA in the US. Why they had a brand of cameras, I do not know. Rather nice bit of brown leatherette design on it. Unfortunately, this one is missing the battery door, which my wife couldn't see when she purchased the job lot. Always one of the risks of purchasing job lots. Next we have a Nikon Pronia S, which is another APS camera, but this is technically a APS SLR camera. So a bit different from the usual compact point and shoots, and it'll be fun trying that one out. And this is the only, no, not the only digital camera, but the only digital camera as we would recognise it today in the lot, which is a Polaroid IE90. This is one of the ones that wasn't part of a job lot, but my wife threw in specifically. Rationale behind this is that we will be going on a holiday later in the year where the weather may not be quite so good. This is a waterproof camera, so the idea is that whatever the weather, I'll be able to pull out a camera and take some shots. Really nice black and goldy yellow design on this one. 18 megapixels in case you're interested. And here's something a little bit different. This is a stereo camera, 3D camera, however you want to call it. This is made by Coronet, which is a UK firm, and this will take 127 film. And if you're one of the few people that have actually watched other videos on my channel, you may have seen my one on the Viewmaster stereo camera, which I have, so I will definitely be making some use of this to try it out. This one is a Ricoh AF50 35mm camera. As far as I'm aware, it has quite a good reputation in terms of a point and shoot camera from the era. So again, it will be one that's fun to use. And next up is a Helena Paulette 35mm camera. Fairly straightforward, simple design. I do quite like the design of it, but unfortunately the top plate is loose and detaching, so that's possibly not one I'm going to be able to make use of. And now we come to one that I did actually know was going to be in there, because I had expressed a desire for one of these, and my wife has kindly obliged. This is the other digital camera in the lot. This is the Sony Mavica FD5, which I believe was the first in the Mavica range of digital cameras. The brilliant feature about this, of course, is that it records to 3.5-inch floppy disks, which is just wonderful to me as someone who has a bizarre nostalgia for 3.5-inch floppy disks, having grown up in the era where they were ubiquitous. another 110 camera, one of the ones from the era with the little handles. This is a Kodak Ektra 22, very simple one, even by 110 camera standards, but lovely and neat. Now, I do believe it is actually the law in the UK that every job lot sold on eBay must contain a Brownie Model 1 camera like that one, and yes, no exceptions here. This is a lovely early folding camera, Thornton Picard Imperial Pocket, in pretty good condition. I have checked the bellows, they seem to be okay, so I think I'll probably be able to make use of this, not least because I have in my large collection of roll film backs that my wife mocked me for, I do actually have one that will fit this, so definitely want to use at some point. And another APS camera. This one is an Olympus Newpick XB. This one's a little bit different. It's actually a disposable camera, branded BMW. There you are, unused. It's in original packaging. Just a shame I don't have a BMW. Another box camera. This one is a Coronet 1220. That will be 120 format. Really quite stylish design on the front of this one. Very Art Deco. Back to APS again, and this one is a Kodak Advantix F300. They made quite a few in their Advantix range, which was kind of the range for their APS format. I do have another Advantix one, slightly better model than this. Again, my wife got me that one. This one is actually quite stylish for a what's essentially a very cheap 126 camera. It's an Agfomatic 100. I struggled to fully identify this one. It's a Zeiss, possibly Contessa Natel Coquerette. Anyway, a 120 format camera, missing the little foot to keep to prop it up, but other than that, seems to be in pretty good condition. And this is another in the Kodak Retinet range. This is the 1A. This one's quite chunky for a 126 format camera. It's a Prinz Pilot. P-R-I-N-Z. And another different format, another dead format. This is obviously a Kodak Disc 3000, which obviously took the relatively short-lived Kodak disc film. I had one back in the day, and it is possible to get expired film, and it is possible to develop that film, so I will probably have a go with it at some point, although I'm not expecting too much out of it, but it's a lovely gold design. So for display purposes, it's great. Back to APS format, and we have a Fujifilm Photonex 100E. It's a nice nifty little black number. Next up is another APS camera. This is the Canon Xmas L1, which appears to be a somewhat lighter version of the earlier Canon Xmas model, which is all metal, and which incidentally my wife also previously gifted me. And that is that. There was a total of 34 cameras in that job lot. It took me the best part of an hour to go through it all, so very much a lovely Christmas morning experience for a camera collector such as myself. And I understand that there were many more cameras that were bought in the assembly of this job lot, and therefore there'll probably be another job lot when my birthday comes around, so I can look forward to that. Thanks for watching. If you managed to watch this far, I hope that, like me, you have an appreciation for some of these what you might call cheaper cameras, and cameras in defunct formats. It's all very well having your Leicas, etc., and your very expensive cameras, but I think the history of photography involves all of these cameras as well. The mass market cameras, they are what enabled companies like Kodak to invest in innovation and in film production and things like that. So the history of photography would be very, very different if you were just relying on Leicas and such like. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.